Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Yeah, on the ETH chart we had another wave down after yesterday's last video. That is sort of the ideal pattern now, because in yesterday's videos we discussed maybe a top is in here. Yeah, maybe a top is in this wave too. Doesn't need to on the ETH chart, but on the BTC chart it would be very helpful if a top is in now in this wave too, because Bitcoin can't really move any higher in its current wave pattern within this yellow wave too. Yeah, we've got a very similar, or actually the same wave count currently here on this wave degree on the Bitcoin chart. Whereas the white wave count is of course here the bullish one, which I'm not following primarily, and it also only deserves really attention if the price breaks and sustains above $1,700. The reason is that it cannot really, first of all, we are below resistance, we are consolidating in a choppy way, yeah. ETH can't even push above 1664 at the moment, and $1,700 is resistance here. Invalidation point is 1745 for the yellow count. So the yellow count still has space to move. And to be honest, the white wave count would not be an impulse, which we will always want to see. We want to see impulses to have clarity on a wave count. But while the yellow wave count is overall an impulse to the downside, yeah, here we had 5 waves down, which can be impulsive, which is impulsive, and corrective to the upside. The white wave count, you're basically working against the probabilities. The white wave count is basically corrective on the way up. So you don't believe it really until you see it, because it's also very choppy, and it can really only be what we call a diagonal pattern, some kind of a weird tortured diagonal pattern, certainly not an impulse, okay? So we cannot really trust it. Therefore, I am focusing generally on the yellow wave count, especially as long as we are moving below resistance, okay? So I'm following that still, corrective movements into resistance here. And yeah, I mean, the C wave might be short, but it's okay, especially because we have 5 waves down. So 5 waves down give us a clue that a top might be in. It's a pretty clear 5 wave move down. I mean, it's not a guarantee. You see all sorts of distortions on those smaller time frames. Bitcoin hasn't formed 5 waves down, yeah, but you can label that pretty easily as a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So we might have here, and this is just a micro perspective. So this here is the first 5 wave down of the high, which means that we would now expect a bit of a pullback, yeah, a correctively looking pullback in maybe an ABC structure to the upside, A wave, B wave, C wave. So that can go a little higher, but this is really just a micro perspective. I don't really like to go that much into the micro structures. It would have to be yellow. So no, not green, the pick green. So yeah, and then maybe ABC to the upside, and that's valid. And it would sort of add to the view that we could now continue with a move down. But the condition is, and there's always a condition, the condition is that the price doesn't break above yesterday's high at 1670. And overall, if we look at the entire move down here in the third wave, I mean, that might be a bit long, but so this first 5 wave move down, yeah, it would basically, or it could be a first wave of that third wave. So we had a wave 1, then a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5 of this larger degree third wave. Yeah, we need to see how this is subdividing, but that's just an idea how this could unfold. Maybe this first wave is again the first wave of a larger 5 wave move. So anyway, the point I try to make here is we had 5 waves down. That increases the probabilities further that a top has been made. It's not a guarantee, you know, there are most complex patterns that would allow for a 5 wave move down here, but to be honest, it's quite a good signal. The only thing is Bitcoin hasn't done it. Yeah, Bitcoin hasn't given us 5 waves down, so we need to remain open to different perspectives here. Also, what I would like to see, if we see 5 waves down, I mean, ideally, I would have liked to see a break below the B wave low here. That hasn't happened, at least not yet. So that would give us additional evidence that a top has been made here. That would be a break below 1610. That's the next target for the bulls. And then below that, we've got this swing low here, which would be at the same time an invalidation point for the white wave count. This would be 1583. So we need to take these levels out. Those are the next targets for the bears. So to really follow the yellow wave count as it is, yesterday's high needs to stay intact. Price should not break above yesterday's high again. And we need to take out those support levels that I mentioned. And then let's see. I mean, tomorrow is going to be interesting. Also, the pathway, the roadmap to tomorrow, because of the interest rate decision that's going to happen tomorrow. So yeah, I'm trying to do a live stream tomorrow. It's going to be evening in the UK here. But yeah, I will try to do a live stream tomorrow about the Fed statement, interest rate decision. I don't expect too much action, to be honest, because, I mean, you never know what is going to be decided. But probabilities suggest no change, at least not now. What is probably going to create more movement and volatility is the economic outlook of the Fed. That is going to be published as well. And then we've got Jerome Powell's speech as well. Anything else to add? Not really. I mean, looking at divergences, looking at divergences on the 30-minute chart. Oops, I cannot see anything on the RSI. Because obviously what we want to see with these divergences, did the price get exhausted or anything? It hasn't shown that yet, okay? So ideally what we would like to see is some kind of a divergence. So yeah, I cannot, you don't always get divergences with reversals, but it would be great, or it would have been great. I mean, now we've got 5 waves down, so I would prefer it just follow through to the downside. But often when they make another high, get exhausted, the RSI makes a lower high and then it sort of comes down. Let's check the 4-hour chart as well, but we don't need those divergences, but they are good if we get them. Okay, so nothing here on the 4-hour chart. So the indicators do not necessarily suggest that we've topped, okay? They don't necessarily suggest it, but price action definitely gives us some clues here. But price action also tells us the conditions. So I told you the conditions very clearly that are now needed for continuation to the downside. Yeah, that's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the links in the description. And if you are interested in the channel membership, as a member, you get access to the weekly live streams. Every Sunday we do them, 5 p.m. UTC. You get access to Discord and Telegram, to the chat rooms, and a lot of educational content that could probably fill a book now. And as a gold member, you get access to additional short-term market updates and Elliott Wave signals, especially useful when we have a lot of volatility. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.